morning, good afternoon, good evening,
Good morning, ma'am.
wherever you're viewing from. I'm Laura Thompson with TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach, and you tune into the coffee break. And, I have an unbelievable, relentless, resilient guest today, and I'm surprised he walked up and wanted to take a coffee break with me, but I never turn people down, especially him. So before we get started with the interview, can you just give us a little background information on like who you are, what you do, why you do it, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. My name is Derrick Wilson. I am founder, CEO, the architect behind a company I'm extremely proud of called Powerfactor Entertainment. It started back in 2012 with just a simple day party.
Wow.
And has expanded its reach to basically globally, to where we do events, manage artists. We do all kinds of things that ultimately pour into the entertainment industry and try to make it better. Our focal point is independent artists and trying to ensure that the city of San Antonio gets the light that it does across the entire continental United States and as far as we could reach, So yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate you having me.
Wow, no problem. I wouldn't have it any other way. He's so smooth, right? Smooth and confident and calm to be in the business that he's in. Powerfactor is an entertainment business, but he produces all of these major events, and it takes a lot of energy and focus to do it, and he does it seamlessly. So he makes it look easy.
Thank you.
Although he works really hard behind the scenes.
I do. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, ma'am.
So I remember the first interview that you did with TAN TV, and I just ran across it, and then all of a sudden, Doshi Piper with the MLK Commission called and said, "Hey, do you mind interviewing Derrick Wilson with the Powerfactor?" And I said, "Absolutely." She said, "Do you know who he is?" I said, "Absolutely."
Thank you.
And so you've been doing this since 2012, and you said it started with a day party.
Yes, ma'am. 2012. It was and I like to tend to tell this story so people can understand the context behind why it even started. I have a background in power generation.
Okay.
And there was this. So I work. I have a regular job, and I have a background in power generation. And what I understood about Powerfactor, it's a turbine that when there is no power factor, literally nothing exists.
Wow.
So when I decided to go into a company, I thought to myself, like, man, that would be a really, really cool name. That's literally how it started. But the dare started when I had a friend of mine, I kept talking about all these different ideas that I had. And somebody said to me, like, you keep talking about all these ideas you have, and eventually somebody does them before you can get to them. So why won't you just get it done? And I felt like that was the dare that pushed me into the abyss of what it looks like to be a part of entertainment. And starting with a day party, just because it was something that the city genuinely hadn't really explored yet. And I wanted to just bring it to the city. I had seen it in different parts of the country. And I thought to myself, man, that would be really something really good to bring to the city of San Antonio. And but I also knew that at some stage of it, I would have to pivot into what I really wanted to do. And that was producing live music shows and, concerts and, just bringing people together, So that was really the context behind what Powerfactor initially started on.
Wow. And
Yes,
you said it hadn't really been done in San Antonio.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I saw the advertisement, I said, a day party?
Right.
What?
That was the response that I got from a lot of
what's
people.
What's going to happen at that day party?
Yes,
but
ma'am.
it was very successful, and you spun off into
Yes,
a lot
ma'am.
of different types of productions
Yes,
and events
That was
really caught on.
That was a lot of the response that I would get during that time, because it was such an early stage of what day parties would look like. I would see them in LA and DC and New York, and see them in all these different places. And it was like, man, I could do this. But the difference was, in those cities, they were doing them on Fridays or Saturdays.
Wow.
And when I came home, I said to myself, I wanted to be able to create a lane that nobody was in, And so when I started really and truly saying that I wanted to do it, I wanted to do it on a Sunday.
Wow.
Which, again, I always say nobody will ever give me credit for this, but in my mind, I created the Sunday Fun Day thought process. But at the same time, it changed the landscape of what it looked like to have parties, so to speak. Because now, at the time, people were like, why would you do it on a Sunday? And I said to myself, like, why wouldn't we do it? There's nothing that's happening at that early part of the day. It's after church. It's, it's early enough for us to be able to have a good time, go home, and then still get up for work the next day. Why wouldn't we be able to do it? And now it's the landscape of it looks so different. It almost feels like everything happens on Sundays now. So that was really the concept behind it, was just creating a lane that wasn't, it was vacated at the time. So that's really what it was about.
Because I said first, who is this Derrick Wilson? And then he's doing a day party.
Yes, ma'am.
But you did. You've made a big impact on the entertainment industry here in San Antonio.
Thank you.
We were in conversation a few minutes ago before we got on the air. You talked about, incorporating and collaborating with community events.
Yes, ma'am.
And because you wanted to have a way to give back to the community. So tell us a little bit about what that looks like.
It's funny because, I kind of got, in the entertainment industry, a lot of times what happens is, you get older. We all get older. And we have to figure out what our lane is going to be, what our next venture is going to be, because at some stage of it, we get too old to do certain things. And my mission was to never feel like I'm outside of what my realm of reach would look like. So I constantly wanted to be able to pivot in a way that was attractive to what I was trying to do, and my audience was used to me doing, with the understanding that, there's a new generation of people that need to have some certain levels of entertainment. So I wanted to make some adjustments around that. But I prayed about it, and I asked God, I was like, God, I really and truly want to make sure that any and everything that I'm doing moving forward has some impact. I just don't want to be out here purposeless. I want it to be something driven with purpose. I literally prayed that, and then Tyrone Darden reached out to me at some stage of it, and he was like, "Hey, man, I got some opportunities, man, that I think that you will fit in well on." And that was my answer. That was like God answering my prayer to me at the time.
Wow.
He was like, "I want to connect you with the MLK Commission. We have all these different opportunities to be able to do it." I've also worked with SACAM a little bit as well.
Okay.
Haven't really got the projects that I wanted to get off the ground with SACAM, but I really and truly appreciate them even thinking of me when they did, and just pulling me into that circle of what it looks like to be community based. So again, I just prayed about it. God kind of opened the door, and my job was to walk through it, and I've walked through it at this stage of it. So it's been really, really good.
Wow. So you're working on an event in collaboration with the MLK Commission.
Yes, ma'am.
That's coming up in August. So
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
us a little bit about that.
Yes, ma'am. August 1st. We actually have a series of events that we're going to do that are going to highlight, Black royalty in a sense. And I want to stay away from the word Black in general, because yes, it is for our people, but I also want to make sure that it's inclusive of any and everybody. But, everything is about royalty. The first event that we did was a private event, invite only. You were invited to it, the Velvet Rope. And it was genuinely about bringing some of the movers and shakers in the Black community together and just giving them a taste of what it would look like to make fundraising fun. Because what I've noticed is over the course of my time in the entertainment industry and going to fundraisers is that a lot of the stuff felt mundane and almost boring to some degree when you do fundraisers. And what I thought to myself was, how can we make being able to contribute to the community, but still not feel so stuffy and so ugly about what it looks like to just do fundraising? And so I was like, man, I have all these ideas that I can incorporate to make this thing fun. So we started that, which was a test market. We felt like it went really, really well. And so we proceeded to do this next event, August 1st, which is Black Velvet. And Black Velvet is really and truly a concept that was generated out of what it looks like now to be in this current world that we live in. And what I mean by that is that if you notice, most men don't necessarily dress up anymore. They don't necessarily want to dress up anymore, And I said to myself, like, man, I really want to do an event that would allow women to be able to put on that beautiful gown that she wants to be able to put on, men to be able to get dressed up in a tuxedo, and then still feel like you can go to this event, it be next level exquisite, but at the same time, you feel like, man, this was really, really fun. So we picked a great venue, which is going to be Skyline, and it's still in the district that we wanted to keep it in the district. We wanted to keep it on the east side. It's right there in Skyline. Super beautiful venue, but we also wanted to make it super elegant as well, too. So it's just about bringing elegance, community fundraising, and live music all in one arena, along with making sure that we celebrate food, because food is culturally what we ultimately kind of congregate around. And I wanted to make sure we incorporated all those things to make sure that it was genuinely about the culture, but it was inclusive of any and everybody. So I'm excited about it. I really am.
And so that's the Black Velvet event. I love that name.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
And so tell us where it's going to be again, and what time, and how people can get to you. How can they scan the QR code or go to a website?
Sure. So we have Black Velvet is going to be at 707 Dawson Street. It's at a venue called Skyline. It starts at 7 p.m. on August 1st, 2026. It's on a Saturday. We wanted to do it on a Saturday just because we want to make sure you can have a good time, and if you get in late, you'll be good for tomorrow.
Right.
But it is an all-black affair. The mission is for people to genuinely dress up and just really and truly show out what your style and your sophistication looks and feels like. Whatever that looks like to you, we want you to come looking like that. And as far as tickets and things that are concerned, we have it's on. You can find us on Facebook, on my website, The Lions Den, Powerfactor Entertainment, or Instagram. You can literally, it's advertisements all over the place. Or if you can't find it that way, you can literally just call me at 210-385-6163, and I'll direct you in the right area. So, yes, ma'am.
Wow. So it's going to be a great event. I call them a party with a purpose.
Exactly.
You can dress up.
Yes,
and,
ma'am.
Men really look very debonair.
Yes, ma'am.
All dressed up.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. I want us to get back to that.
And it makes you feel a different way and act a different way and posture yourself different.
It is. It does. My father, my dad is a extremely debonair dresser. He's at the ripe old age of 72 now.
Oh, wow.
And he still really and truly takes pride in the way that he dresses, right? So I thought to myself, like, what I'm noticing in a lot of the older gentlemen, they know what it is to be able to get dressed. They know what it is to be able to represent themselves in a way that feels like, just excellence. And what I feel like is the younger generation is missing is those examples. And I want to kind of be able to set forth events that create that example, And if they've never done it, I actually talked to one of our business owners on the east side, and he said to me, and I'll keep his name nameless, but he said this to me one day, and this is what actually sparked this event. He said, I've never, ever worn a suit in my life.
Wow.
This man is 40-something years old and never worn a suit in his life.
Wow.
And I said to myself, like, man, we have to create things that require them to do that, because even church nowadays, you're not really required to do it anymore. So I wanted to put together something that allowed people to say to themselves, man, I want to do it, but I want to make it fun. I want to make it feel good. I want it to be me at the same time. So we're calling it the Met Gala with Soul, and it's going to be surrounded around food, elegance, excellence, anything, all things black, and the velvet piece of it just symbolizes our royalty. So that's what it's about. Yes, ma'am.
You always come up with these cool names.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
So, so it's going to be on August 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
So what's going to be happening in the building?
So at 7 o'clock is really our happy hour time frame. We want really the festivities will begin at 7 o'clock, which it'll be kind of a cocktail hour. We'll allow people to go upstairs. Skyline has a rooftop. Okay. So you'll be able to go upstairs, have cocktails, things of that nature. But the main focus and the main feature piece of it won't really start until around 8 o'clock. Okay. We'll have live music. Right now, I do have some artists that are booked, but I'm still trying to work on a special artist that I'm trying to bring right now, and I haven't made the announcement yet just because I haven't got it all the way booked quite yet. And it will be a celebrity artist at that time, but every single artist that's on the ticket will be an independent artist that will bring the house down.
Wow.
So we're going to do great live music. We're going to do a 5-piece band. We're going to make sure that, we'll have signature cocktails. We'll have signature food, things of that nature, things that feel like the culture, that feel like us. But that's displayed to us in a fashion that looks a bit elevated and that feels a bit elevated, because we deserve that. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely. So the Skyline, I've never heard of it. I'm out of the mix.
Yes, ma'am.
And a lot of people might be, that maybe not live in that area or have
Sure.
had that experience.
Sure.
How long have they been there? And what?
Skyline is actually funny. Good question. Skyline has been there probably for the better part of 5 years or so.
Okay.
So it was an independent contractor that came in and took over this building and just completely refurbished it.
Wow.
It is a beautiful venue. It's more so used for, and you can look it up, you can Google it, but it's more so used as kind of a wedding venue.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the reason we were attracted to it, because typically when you go to wedding venues, they're going to be elevated. They're going to have all the amenities that you need. It's going to create a different atmosphere. It's not going to feel normal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the attraction was. And it's right there on the east side. It's right off of Dawson Street,
Wow.
So it felt like this is still me being able to pour into the community that I was raised in, So
Wow.
it's a beautiful venue. The people that run it really take real pride in making sure. And the most attractive thing about it is, don't get me wrong, the inside is amazing, but when you get to the rooftop, you can see all of downtown.
Wow.
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. We were going to try and do some fireworks at the end of the night, but cost was kind of crazy. So it was like, we're going to leave that alone. But yes, ma'am.
Wow. So you get a chance to go to a really nice venue,
Yes, ma'am.
get all dressed up, be entertained by live entertainment,
Yes, ma'am.
go on the rooftop
Yes, ma'am.
if you want to, and experience, the some of the new venues and atmosphere that the East Side is bringing,
Exactly.
to the public.
Yeah.
And so this collaboration with the MLK Commission. So how does that work?
So again, Tyrone Darden was the one, because I've known Tyrone, and there's such a story behind me and Tyrone's relationship. I feel like that guy, I owe him the world, man, because he's really and truly poured even into my children.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had a relationship over the years, and once he took on I think he's a scholarship committee chair,
Mm-hmm.
and once he took that role on, he wanted to bring something different to the process, because the way that I understand it, there's a lot of opportunities to be able to raise funds, and we just kind of weren't taking advantage of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And what he said is, I want to bring in people that know how to do the things that I don't know how to do,
Mm-hmm.
but do it better, So his whole thought process behind all of that was be able to collaborate with people that was from the community, that understand the community, and then actually can speak to the community in a way that he can't. And so that's incorporate me into the process. And it was like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna raise funds. We're gonna make it fun, because everything that we do around fundraising sometimes feels a bit mundane. So it was like, how can we incorporate what it looks like to still raise funds, make it fun, and it doesn't feel like, we're pulling teeth from people. So every single dime of what we raise in this situation is going towards the MLK Scholarship Fund.
That's awesome.
Every single dime, not one single dime that we raise is going in anybody's pocket. And they have been awesome about being able to create a platform for me to be able to use the resources that they have. And my mission is just to be able to give back to the scholarship fund, to be able to pour into whatever child has an opportunity to get that scholarship. I want to hopefully be able to say that I was a little bit of a part of what that looked like. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So Tyrone Darden is indeed a community connector.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed.
And everybody thinks he's their best friend.
Indeed. Yes,
Because
ma'am.
he is.
Yes, ma'am.
He's a great friend to
Yes,
the
indeed.
community. He's a big idea person like you are.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I know y'all are, working really, really well together.
Oh my God, it's
Y'all see the world, totally different.
mhm.
You see him in lights,
Yes, ma'am.
in a positive light.
And I'll say this about Tyrone. What he does is he sees the world differently, but he speaks my language.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he can see it the way he does, and then articulate it in a way that I understand it, it makes me understand better. It makes things flow a little easier. And then with him connecting me with Dr. Soshi and us, Dr. Doshi, and doing all the things that she does,
Mm-hmm.
It's just a perfect combination. And she's just been, gracious and creating, opportunities and, giving us the resources that she has, and just doing all the things that it takes to, be a part of a commission and be, impactful.
Right. I told her I wish she could be the commission chair forever. And she said, no, no.
Yeah, I know, right?
There's terms. There's terms.
Right.
But this has been a great conversation. It's good seeing you again.
Indeed.
You know, I knew, some people knew Derrick when. I knew him when.
When, there you go. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And he's, you know, he's still the same great, smooth operator that makes things happen. And then just sits down, and he's very calm, and you wouldn't even know that he's been working, but he's always working.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So you've been tuned into the Coffee Break on TAN TV, the African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach. And thank you so much for coming and share about the next venture and the next level work that you're doing with Powerfactor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. You're welcome. Now you can go get your